Hello my friends and welcome to another math video. Alright, we're going to warm up our brains today by counting on our number line. Just like always, we're going to count from 0 to 20 by ones. Then we're going to count backwards from 20 to 0 also by ones. Remember, when we're counting up the number line, that's helping us with our addition practice. When we're counting down the number line, it's helping us with our subtraction practice. Okay, after that, we're going to work on counting by 2s from 0 to 50, counting by 5s from 0 to 100, and then, of course, counting by 10s from 0 to 100. Just going to help us warm up our brain, and then we're going to do some counting with our coins, and then we have a couple worksheets to work on. So let's get started. Starting at 0, count by ones with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right, so that's our practicing our addition skills by counting up the number line. Now let's practice our subtraction skills by counting down the number line. Starting at 20, count with me. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, my friends, now we're going to keep going and count by 2s from 0 to 50. Ready? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42, 44, 46, 48, 50. Awesome, my friends. All right, now let's count by 5s all the way from 0 to 100. Are you ready? Starting at 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100. All right, last thing we're doing is counting by 10s, starting at 0. Count with me. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Woo, that was a lot of counting. Are our brains nice and warmed up now? I sure hope so. So now that our brains are nice and warmed up, let's do some counting with our coins. All right, let's start with our pennies. Remember, pennies are worth 1 cent, which means every penny we count is worth 1. Excuse me. So count with me. 1. Oops, they're stacked. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Make some more room here. Make sure you can see it. So we're at 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, so we have 20 pennies. But look at how I lined them up. I lined them up so that they're in pairs of 2. This helps us if we ever want to count faster. Instead of counting by ones, now we can count by 2s. Count with me. 2, 4, 6, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. And that's why we practice our counting by twos, because it helps us count faster. So whether you count by ones or count by twos, we came up with 20 pennies. And remember, pennies are worth 1 cent. So now let's count our nickels. Are you ready? Remember, nickels are worth 5 cents. So each nickel, we're going to count by 5. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80. We can't see anymore. Let me fix that. Sorry, friends. So we're at 80, 85, 90, 95, 100. So we have 100 cents, which means we have $1 in nickels. But look, I lined up my nickels in pairs again. Because let's think about that. If one nickel is worth 5, and I have 2 nickels, that's 5 plus 5, which equals 10, right? So counting by 10 is faster than counting by 5. So if we count in pairs, we can count by tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. And again, that's why we practice counting all the different ways, because when our brains can figure out that, oh, instead of counting by 5s, if I put them in pairs, I can count by 10s, it goes that much faster. Okay, dimes are the last thing we're going to count. Remember, dimes are worth 10 cents. So each dime we're going to count by 10. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, or $1. There's no fast way to count tens. We can learn to count by 20s, but let's not worry about that today, because holy moly, that's a whole nother thing to learn. But even though we can't count our dimes any faster, practicing counting our nickels in pairs of 2 and our pennies in pairs of 2 just helps us get through that much quicker. Okay, friends? All right, now that we are done warming up our brains and we are done counting all the things, we are going to get to work in our home connections book. So go ahead and hit pause, grab your home connections book, grab your pencil, and come on back when you're ready. All right, if you're back with me, that tells me you have your home connections book and your pencil. So let's open up to page 119. 119. Fix this so we can see a little bit better. Okay, if you need a little more time to find page 119, just hit pause and come on back when you're ready. We are going to go ahead and get started. Of course, though, first we have to stop and put our name at the top. So I'm going to put my name. And I'm going to put today's date, which of course we know is 4-29-21. All right. We are going to continue working on our coins, counting coins, figuring out how many cents we have, and then also finding the number, not only the number, but the word that goes along with the number. So, for example, the very first picture, let me zoom in a little bit more because it's hard to see, has 1 dime and 2 nickels. So a dime is worth 10, and the nickels are worth 5. So we have 10 plus 5 is 15, plus 5 is 20. But remember, 5 and 5 also equal 10. So if we're counting by tens, we can say 10, 20. So we wrote 20 here, and then we drew our line to the 20. And you're going to trace the number and trace the word just for extra practice. Okay? So let's continue. Let's do number 1 together. So we have 2 dimes. So and remember, dimes are worth 10 cents. I'm just writing the amount underneath the coin because it kind of helps my brain remember how much I'm counting. And then our nickels are worth 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. So here's how my brain does this. I want to count my 2 tens together. So I'm going to say 10 plus 10 is 20 because 10, 20, right? Then I'm going to say 5 plus 5 equals 10. And 5 plus 5 equals another 10. That makes it easier for us to count. So we're going to start at 20 and counting by 10. So we're going to say 20, 30, 40. So we have 40 cents. I'm going to find my 40. I'm going to draw the line down. I'm going to trace it. And I'm going to practice tracing the word for that extra practice. What I want you to do now is I want you to go through and finish adding up all the coins on this page. So we have all dimes here. We have a nickel and pennies, dimes, nickels, dimes, nickels, dimes, nickels, okay? And don't forget, our pennies, nickels, and dimes amounts are right here to help you write it down. So go ahead and hit pause, and I want you to add up all the coins in 2 through 6. Write the totals here. Make sure you draw the lines to match the number and then trace the number. Once you're all done with that, come on back. Okay. If that was a little bit tricky for you, if you were like, gosh, Mrs. Sae-Wong, I'm not sure if I got that right, make sure you bring this page to our class meeting so we can talk about it. From what I can tell from the work we've been doing, everybody seems to be getting the hang of counting coins. So I'm just going to move forward, assuming and hoping that everybody's getting it. But if you're stuck, if counting this way is really hard, let me know so we can work on it together, okay? Let's turn the page. We are also going to work on page 120 today. This is something we have not done before. We are going to use a grid to figure out which coin belongs on which line. And I'll show you what I mean. So do you notice how this grid has letters on the bottom and numbers on the side? Well, every problem gives us a letter and a number. So you're going to start with the letter. So we have the letter A. That means we're going to be in this A column. Then it gives us the number 4. So we're going to find our A and we're going to find our 4. And our fingers are going to come and touch right here where the nickel is. How much is a nickel? 5 cents. You got it. And that's what we're going to do for all of these problems. You're going to start with the letter. You're going to find the number. And you're going to see where your fingers connect. So the next one has a D. So we're going to go in the D column. And it has the number 2. So I'm going to put my finger right here, and I'm going to slide my finger up the column until my 2 fingers are in the same row. So I'm in my D column, and I'm in my number 2 row. That's a dime. How much is a dime worth? Right, it's worth 10 cents. So I'm going to write a 10 right there. Okay, let's do one more together. The next one is in the B column. So here's our B column. And we're looking for the number 4. So here's the number 4. I'm going to put my finger right here. I'm going to slide my finger up the B column all the way until my 2 fingers are in the same row. Where did I land? I landed on a penny. And a penny is worth 1 cent. So I'm going to write 1 cent on the line. Okay? I want you to go through now and finish filling in all these lines using the grid to tell me how many cents there are. At the end, number 8, it asks, how much money did you win? This is just a silly game. I really would like you to put a big X right through that. We are going to work on this together on Friday during Friday's class meeting. And we're going to brainstorm some different ways that we can solve that problem. If you're like, Mrs. Sae-Wong, I get it, I got it, easy peasy, and you want to show me your work, that's okay. But this is not something we have done a lot of practice of, showing different ways to solve math problems. So I would like to do this together so we're not frustrated and so that we can all learn a little bit, okay? There we go, sorry. Getting a weird pop-up on my computer. Okay, so go ahead and hit pause. Finish answering all these questions. Come on back when you're ready. All right, my friends, if you're back with me, that tells me you are all done. So head on over to Seesaw and send me a picture of both page 119 and 120. And then don't forget, on Friday, we are going to talk about how we can solve number 8. How much money did we win? We'll brainstorm different ways to add it up, and then we'll show different ways to solve it together. Okay, my friends? Thanks as always for your hard work. You're amazing and brilliant. As always, though, if you have any questions, let me know. Bye, friends.